Emmae, I know that you had joined, it was Galen,
Hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Um, that one should be going up shortly, actually, like in the next couple of days. So I'll make sure that I ping you guys a reminder to check out those videos so you can kind of refresh. But for today, it's a little bit of a different format. So as you saw with Chantel and Galum, it was kind of geared on like figuring out what your specific challenges were. She gave some general advice about how you might be able to break through, make some changes. For today, we like to focus it much more on execution. So for example, we can kind of go in one of two directions, and we've done both. The first is kind of filling your top of the funnel. So if there's an opportunity out there that you want to go after, whether it's like an active job role or a company that you're trying to get into, we can help you guys write an email that's inspired by B2B sales that will get the attention of who you're reaching out to and land you an interview, hopefully. That's what we've been able to do before. I could figure out what our conversion rate is, but it's pretty high in terms of like the number of interviews that we've been able to land with these emails, and we'll show you why. The other direction that we can go is where you already have an interview maybe coming up, or you have like an assignment that you were assigned, and we can actually help you prep to jump into that. It's kind of totally up to you. We can start with Emmae, kind of ladies first, as we normally do. It's kind of up to you which way you want to take it, and we can go from there.
I would love to go on like the how to email companies and get an interview side for sure.
Okay, awesome. So let me share my screen, and I will get things going. And then what we share with you guys, you can use as a template for other opportunities. And then in like a follow-up session, we can talk about what the follow-up looks like. Because obviously you're not necessarily emailing one time or messaging one time. You might do like an email with like a LinkedIn message or a LinkedIn connect request or a video. We can kind of like talk about what the next steps would look like after the initial message. But for today, we could just focus on the formula for that initial message. Um, Much of this, so Stephen usually joins these like whenever he can. Stephen Brady is kind of like my partner in crime on these. Serena is taking his spot, and she's like one of the best when it comes to email writing, and she's managed SDR teams before. So she'll kind of be jumping in as well, helping keep me honest and keep me not so insane. Um, so just so you guys have a little bit of background here, the SOP that we use, or the template that we use, is inspired by Beck Holland. Are you guys familiar with Beck at all? A little bit?
Mm-mm.
She's the head of sales development at chorus.ai, and she writes a lot, and she's on like a lot of what she shares a lot of best practices about like how you can stand out in a very crowded market and basically convince someone that really doesn't want to hear from you to jump on a sales pitch call, by focusing in on first party content that they have written or produced. And that's usually like the highest converting reference that you can make in an email. So if they have like a really interesting post that they posted on LinkedIn that caught your eye, or they are just someone you saw speak at an event, or something that they did that you can kind of point out, followed by a tie back to your experience and how you relate to what it is that they are talking about, and then asking them a very targeted question that isn't necessarily meant to be like answered even. It's just meant to like stop them, get them intrigued and curious to want to learn more from you, and maybe even bring them back to a time in their life where they felt really happy, and you can kind of like invoke that emotion, and then end with a really strong call to action. The way that we've been doing it is not asking for a call, not asking for an interview, not really asking for anything, and just letting them kind of chase you and suggest what the next step could look like. And I'll show you guys, obviously, like we'll get into more of the specifics of how we actually write it. But Emmae, is there a certain opportunity or job or company that you have in mind that we can start with?
American Girl doll is like my dream company.
Okay, good.
Or also like Mattel, which like Mattel owns American Girl Doll, so like American Girl Doll Barbie, but American Girl Doll is like the dream, been for a long time. So I would think reaching
Yeah,
out
but they,
specifically to American Girl Doll.
yeah, they post their own roles, it looks like. And then what type of job would you be going for?
I think like any sort of product manager or like marketing, and I'd be like entry level.
Hmm. Okay, cool. So let's see. A lot of these are like retail.
Yeah.
Have you seen a role um, come up?
Not super recently. It's kind of off
Okay.
and on. With
I'm
this,
gonna check
with
out Mattel on the side, just so you guys know I'm digging that side.
Yeah, see if they parse out like, product management for American Girl or something like that.
yeah.
But that's okay if they don't have a job because it just means that we might have to um, get their attention somehow, and then maybe either like they create a job for you or you stay top of mind so the next time they have a job open.
Even
Um,
that like the temporary product manager one for creative would be cool. I think I saw it.
oh, okay. Let's take a look. This one?
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Oh, okay, good. Then it's posted. Let's see.
You're in New York, right?
I'm in New York, but like, yeah, Mattel. I've always thought like that's a company I would like move for. Like that's kind of the dreams. But
Posted 1 day ago. 12 applicants. Not so bad. Uh, who do I know that's there?
And it's remote temporary, so at least at first it would be okay that you're not there yet.
Yeah, I don't know her, but she is a fellow NYU MBA alumni, which is nice. She was a CMO at Iconics, who I know really well, actually. I think they're the ones who bought Rocket Fair. So she got an MBA in marketing. And she went to Michigan. We won't hold that against her. Let's see. Okay, so when you're looking through this job, what stands out to you the most? Like, what is kind of like, I guess first, like, what do you love about American Girl and Mattel?
they're like of all the like toy holding companies, they have all the ones that I think are most interesting. That have like a lot of nostalgia for me. American Girl Doll specifically is super based in like education, which I think is really cool, and like stories. Because when you're playing with with toys and you have a story, it makes like imagination a lot more interesting. That's why you like buy your kid like a Cinderella doll over just like a random doll. For the most part, they'd be more interested in that because of the story. But American Girl Doll like ties education into that. So I think they're pretty good at that. Yeah.
Got it. And that is Mattel, or is that's American Girl?
That's specifically an American
Maybe,
Girl doll, but Mattel is like the holding of it. So
okay, cool. No, that makes sense. And then in terms of like this job with like project managing on their digital creative team, like what stands out to you the most? Like if you were, I can put this in a chat, but like if you were going through this job description, um, what are some of the things that you think you can do well?
I guess I mean I know Office Suite. I have organizational skills. I can write. Definitely have oral skills. Sorry, I haven't like really looked through this at all. This like specific
It's okay.
one.
It's good to look through it together because you can get a sense of the process of what you want to do for other roles.
Okay.
Um, Anything in here? Like, do you have 3 years of experience?
No, I only have like I guess around 3 years, but it'd be like internship experience. So I don't know if that counts. And it'd be more marketing, not specifically projects.
That's okay. That's good to know because they might like see that, so they might want to attack that. What about like UI, UX, like user testing?
Oh no, I don't have experience in that.
Okay, no problemo. What it's like to work here? Purpose-driven company. Love it. Reach your full potential. Collaborate, innovate, execute. Now let's go into their company and check out who we might want to target as an individual. So project manager, let's see what they have. American Girl. People. project. Let's just look up project, see what we find. So you have an IT, you have project one, you have senior project manager.
It could also be interesting to take like the creative, like a more senior creative person route, because they would kind of get Emmae's skills too, and be able to help make the case for why project manager would be a decent fit.
Yeah. If we were doing this like, you know, over time, we would probably pick like 5 or 6 people to reach out to, and have different messages for each of them. But I like,
since I'm so like entry level, like I just graduated, something I've been like wondering if I could do, especially a lot of like different internship programs have been canceled, but I've been like wondering if I could still like reach out to someone at a company and be like, hey, I just graduated, I really just want to learn, I love your company kind of thing, and like kind of ask if there was some sort of internship like thing that I could do.
and have you looked on their website, and do they have like a program for that, or through your school?
American Girl Doll doesn't right now that I saw, and I think Mattel, they had one, but it looked like it was like pretty much canceled right now. So
Got it. So it's
and
canceled.
I applied for that on their website, but I think it looks like it's pretty canceled.
No problem. Okay. Did you find anyone else, Serena, that is like more on the creative side? If not, you have creative manager, merchandising, maybe.
Yeah, I saw Angela Liu. I know she came up. California. I'm looking more in New York now. My computer has taken its sweet time here.
It's okay. I think we have some good people. Let's go and check them out.
The
So what we
VP
want to
of brand, product, and content in New York.
Oh.
I pulled her up.
No, I've got her here.
Yeah, working in branding there would be like the perfect world dream job.
Her name is Christina Schick, SCH.
Cool. Yeah, just put her in the chat.
Yeah.
So let's see, Vice President. Okay, yeah, I have her here. Vice President, Brand, Product, and Content, Edgewater, New Jersey, American University for past 10 years. Extensive knowledge. Okay, so she joined about a year ago. She was pro bono marketing consultant. Love it. Head of marketing, vice president of marketing, and then she was at Mattel. Okay, so she came back to Mattel after a couple years. And then she was at Hit Entertainment. Love it. So she's been in like toys and entertainment for a while. Okay. Now let's see if she posts. Doesn't seem like it. And she's commenting a little bit. So we are constantly like, new official price. Cool. Have a great example. Buffalo Games. Love it. So there's a lot of articles, students, university relations. That's a team. Seems like she liked it. University relations. All right. Okay. Let's see if she posted anything. So all my, that's we're very old. All right.
She was nominated for a Wonder Women in Toys award back in 2017.
All right. Love it. She just started. That could be interesting too. I would keep track of her for next time. Brand manager. Okay. Well, let's go after Christina first. She's the most senior. She's global brand strategy out of Wharton. She's been there for much longer. We could probably do her in parallel. And then creative, we probably get like a different type of message. She's in there for like 6 years more. Wow. She's been there for like 10 years almost. Okay, cool. So I would basically try something like the subject be like, so you have like a portfolio you mentioned, right? Like you have like a website?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's.
Have you like I can't like so tell me a bit about like American Girl. Like it sounds like you've had the doll, obviously, or the dolls. Have you ever created content around it? I mean, you created some of this stuff, but
Around the dolls, yeah. This I actually kind of need to fix this a little bit, but this was like a brand like extension idea that I had, that I just like wrote about forever ago, that they should basically expand into like mythology, because they do a lot of historical stuff like around American history, and they've had like a few lines on like international history, but I was saying that it'd be cool if they kind of zoned in on like folklore and stuff like that and made a line of dolls around those.
cool. Did they do that like by coincidence or no?
No.
All right, love it. Okay. I'm gonna play around and maybe we'll come back to this later, but let's say Christina. Christina, who is this mythical girl? Hi, Christina.
The golden thread here for me seems to be like or it could be like a female empowerment theme. So she was nominated for Wonder Women in Toys. You were motivated by the education and storytelling and, you know, the uplifting and learning that American Girl dolls brought to you as a child and bring to other young girls. And you kind of express that and start doing what a creative project manager might do in bringing like new and innovative ideas to the table for the brand. That would be my thinking.
Your nomination as one of the Wonder Women in Toys and senior leadership at American Girl really stood out to me. I vividly remember of all the toy companies, Mattel and AG. They call themselves AG, right?
Mm-hmm.
Being one that has a strong sense of, we can change some of the wording later, education and storytelling, which makes like imagination like much more interesting. And then maybe like quick question. As I recently graduated from
The King's College.
This is in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And looking for a role where I can learn, apply my skills as a content creator and brand strategist. What drew you back to American Girl after your first stint at
I know. That's what I was
and
thinking.
doing some pro bono work? I know for me, and you want to say something like, it seems like the internship program is canceled for the time being.
Maybe like, so I appreciate your help, like, so I appreciate you helping a fellow marketer find her feet.
Mhm.
Thank you in advance for helping a fellow brand and content marketer.
Maybe even storyteller. Did Christina say that? I feel like she said that. Hold on. I will find it.
Yes.
Yeah, everything starts with a story. So I think it probably fellow storyteller. Find her feet. Maybe content marketer and storyteller if you want to get like the industry specific words in there.
P.S. A couple of years ago, I came up with, and what was where did this was just for you, or this was for something?
It was for a school assignment. We had to like make a pitch, so I just did American Girl doll. It was just for like a business class.
And then you're gonna link that. I'll do that when I email it to you.
Maybe say the word mythical in there. Like I conceived a pitch for a mythical American Girl doll.
Yeah.
To tie back to the subject.
Subject, exactly. As part of this, which I still believe could be really cool. Like, I don't know. Am I right? Is that what the kids say these days? Christina, who is this mythical girl? She's like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's just good. She's gonna open the email, and then first she's gonna see like, hi Christina, your nomination as, she's gonna be like, oh, this is about me, right? It's not gonna say like, hey, my name is Emma. She'll be like, I know that, or Emmae, I know that already. It's not gonna say, I want a job. It's not gonna say like me. It's gonna say your nomination as one of the Wonder Women and toys and senior leadership at American Girl really stood out to me. Boom. She's like, oh, thanks, right? And then tie it back to you. I vividly remember of all the toy companies, Mattel and AG being the one that
maybe even more emotional, like Mattel and AG inspiring me with their strong sense of education and storytelling, something like that.
Inspiring me with your strong sense of education and storytelling, which makes imagination much more interesting. I vividly remember of all the toy companies, Mattel and AG inspiring me with a strong sense of education and storytelling, which makes imagination much more interesting. Quick question. As I recently graduated from the King's College in New York, boom, now she's putting you in that like category of like, hey, cool, recent graduate, and I'm looking for a role where I can learn and apply my skills as a content creator and brand strategist. Cool, now I know where to put you. And like, you're not saying, hey, I want to work with you. You're just saying, I'm looking for a job, right? Mm-hmm. I'm curious. We always put that in there because people like curiosity. It's like one of the top traits. What drew you back to American Girl after your first, what's the better word than stint? Like run? Like love? Or no?
First,
I don't know. Where?
Yeah, I would just like job, maybe. I don't know.
Well, maybe you don't even have to say that. Maybe you can just say like after doing pro bono marketing and what was the other thing that she did? After taking other roles and pro bono, whatever. Like after like your other roles and doing some pro bono work. So blah, blah, blah. I'm curious, what drew you back to American Girl after your other roles and doing some pro bono work? And she's like, ooh, now she's going back to that time in her life. And she's like, oh, she feels like the passion. Either she was like really unhappy with where she was, right? In which case she's gonna relate with you and be like, if this person is looking to like make a better life for herself, I'm gonna help her because I was her, right? Or she's thinking like, I really loved where I was, but I really loved American Girl more. And in that case, you're giving up that emotion, that like sense of like community to her. And she's like, I really love that time of my life. And all of a sudden, like the chemicals in her brain are thinking like, I want more of this like adrenaline rush. And she's going to try and engage with this conversation, right? And then you can kind of acknowledge like, it seems like the internship program is canceled for the time being. So thank you in advance for helping a fellow content marketer and storyteller find her feet, right? And it's like, boom. Is there like a funny way we can say feet? Like find her doll shoes. That's stupid. Cheers, Emmae. P.S. A couple of years ago, I conceived a pitch for a mythical American Girl doll as part of a school assignment, which I still believe could be pretty cool. Am I right?
and you show some personality.
Yeah. Very cool. So I would DM her on LinkedIn this.
You
Oh
can
no,
send
we
it
got
as
to get
an
her
email.
email. Hold on, let me
Yeah,
get
let's
her
do
email.
that. So I'll grab it right now. I have it.
Okay.
Use Interstellar for that, and we can get you a free trial of Interstellar if you want to see if she opened it. Hopefully this comes back. Sometimes it doesn't, in which case I'll get it for you afterwards.
I have one too if it doesn't come up.
Oh, cool. Okay, we'll just put it in the chat. We can use that for now, and then I'll try and see if there's a better one for some reason. But
cool. It's at 91%, so it should be pretty good.
Okay, yeah. And then all of these other things, like I'll include in the email that I'm about to send you, because we can use it in the future when we write follow-ups.
Okay.
To her or other people, right? Because you might find like other people are like more nostalgic than she is, or they might give you more with their LinkedIn content than she did, right? Because like she didn't give us much, but we were able to use like her profile.
Yeah, and you'll notice I kept like we want to try to use her words as much as possible. So storyteller appears on her profile, and like brand and creative and strategy is words that she's using, content marketing. So, you know, there's often a lot of options and a lot of ways to describe a very similar thing. So it can be helpful to like pick out the ones that they're literally using.
Yeah. And the other thing that this is going to do is it's going to like break her pattern, and she's going to be like, damn, nobody's ever sent me an email like this. Right. And like, yeah, sure, you want a job, but like, you're also not really asking for it. So she'll appreciate that, hopefully. And maybe she'll respond with like, wow, Emily, thanks so much. Why don't we jump on a call? Blah, blah, blah. She might not respond at all, but I wouldn't expect her to. Like, it's totally cool. Like, I would go in like almost like positive that she'll respond, but also like don't be disappointed if she doesn't, because it's going to take a couple emails probably to get in front of her, because she might just think it's like a one-off thing. She's like, whatever, I got this random email. And then all of a sudden you keep emailing her. She's like, all right, now I got to like pay attention to this girl because she's not going to stop.
Yeah, and for context, when we do this in like B2B sales, and Andy, you'll probably know this, but it very often will take like 8 to 12 touches before someone you're trying to connect with actually responds back to you. And it's a combination of tenacity and switching up the messages and continuing to like connect with them in sincere ways and add more and more value for them. So sending one message, like it could very well get a reply. If any message is gonna, it's this one. But if it doesn't, just know that that's not because we've done anything wrong or whatever. It's like totally normal, and follow-ups are encouraged. And part of what this email does is it like lays some foundation for you to follow up with her too. It wouldn't be weird if you sent her like a little more after this message.
So what would a follow-up be like?
They're usually pretty short. The second one, it's really just kind of like a nudge to be like, hey, you know, like just wondering if you had a chance to check this out. Would, you know, appreciate any feedback. Very basic, and you might not use those exact words, but we can go into the details of that next time, because there's a whole strategy.
Most of the time is like, hey, or hi, Christina. Any feedback on my last email?
Yep.
And then like if she doesn't answer that, you can hit her with like a whole bunch of other stuff. No like thanks, no like exclamation point. You don't even have to sign your name. Just literally, hi Christina. No space. Just literally the way it's written. Like, any feedback on my last email. You know, it'll get her back here. We can even go crazy and get her phone number. You can call her, leave her a voicemail, and ask her if there's feedback. Or like, hey, check your email. But that's it. What do you think?
Cool. Yeah, I did not know you could just do that.
Yeah.
So it's better not to specifically ask like about like different positions or things like that, just to like start a conversation in the beginning.
Yeah, take the pressure off. I mean, another thing about this, and again, this may or may not be new for you guys, but like the other thing about this email is like if you go through it, a lot of times the way that people read emails, right? Like I talked about the subject already, how it's like pretty short. She'll see the first few words and it'll be about her, not about you. So she'll be like, I need to open this. Like she might see this and be like, am I getting nominated for something else or whatever? Like I should probably read this, right? So she'll open it, which is what you want. And then usually what happens is they'll read the first sentence, right? It'll be like, your nomination, ooh, this is about me, cool. What does this girl want? So she'll go directly to the bottom and she'll look, does it say, hey, I want a job? Does it say, do you have 15 minutes to pick your brain? Does it say, can I get coffee? Like anything that's gonna require like a lot of effort, like is gonna just, she's gonna be like, oh damn, like I'm not gonna deal with this, right? But if she goes there and she sees like, thank you in advance, like she doesn't want anything from me, she's a fellow marketer, you know, her, right? It's like the whole women thing, and it's like boom, then she's gonna go read the rest of the email and kind of see like quick question, okay, great, and like this is important, this quick question part, right? This is important, I'm curious, right? These are all like put there, you know, strategically or whatever. That's it. And then the subject kind of ties back, you know, the PS ties back, puts a little personality on it, and let her kind of be in control.
Yeah, let her come back to you. And like Itham said, there's a couple different things that she might do. Like maybe she just directly answers the question. Maybe she's like, wow, that's such a cool mythical girl pitch. What a great idea. Hey, that got me thinking. You should talk to my colleague, whatever. I know she's looking for people. There's a lot of different ways
now,
that,
but
yeah,
this is how you can get in, blah, blah, blah. Now, if you ever get an interview, you're like, boom, hey, Christina, I have an interview coming up with so-and-so. Can we jump on for 15 minutes and like give me some tips on how I can prepare, how I can make this easier for you, right? And then she's like, yeah. And she'll come and give you a lot of insider information. She'll be like, you know, she'll vouch for you. Like you're going to create this like relationship over time. And you're doing the job, right? Like you're sending a creative email, you're a creative storyteller, you're telling a creative story through email, you're showing like your portfolio on your website without being like, and check out my website, right? So you're being the job that they want, which is much more powerful than just being like, hey, I'm awesome.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully that was helpful. We can continue the conversation about like what next steps would be, other stuff we can do. Good luck with the stuff you have coming up.
Yeah, and keep us posted when you send these, and if you're looking at making any tweaks and want to run them by us, or if you have other messages you're writing you want to run by us.
Cool.
Definitely. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you so much. This is really, really helpful.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you guys. I'm going to jump off. I have a 4 o'clock.
All right. See you, everybody.
Bye.
Thanks,
All
guys.
right, thanks, guys. Have a good day.
You too.
Okay.
Thanks.